Welcome to Journey Through Classical Piano. I'm your host, classical pianist Jeeyoon Kim. Every other Wednesday, I feature in-depth exploration of one classical piano composition. Regardless of whether or not you're a lifelong lover of classical music, this podcast is meant to show you how important and relevant classical music is to today's world, and to bring the live piano concert experience right to your living room. I believe that classical music is for everyone, so let's start listening together. Today, we'll be talking about our theme song of the podcast, Arabesque Opus 18 in C major by Robert Schumann. Another thing is really interesting in Schumann's composition sometimes is that he putting this secret message for Clara that is a falling down melodic line represent Clara between them. So by him inserting this kind of falling down melodic line in the coda, that is almost the poignant and focal part of this arabesque. Is his way of telling Clara when they couldn't physically be together, but sending the secret message to Clara saying, "Hey Clara, I'm thinking of you." And of course, Clara being an amazing pianist would play this part of music and with a smile. I find this is such a romantic way of sending a message to someone. Don't you think so? I chose this particular piece for our theme song of the podcast because it always lifts me up, and with that kind of message of joyful, content, happy, and full of love. Now, for the first time, let's take a listen to the entire piece of Arabesque by Robert Schumann, performed by Jeeyoon Kim. So today I decided to share with you some of the behind scenes of creating podcast. I find that often, although I created this podcast to you and you are listening, often I feel like I'm talking to a wall, actually talking to music books or some teddy bears of there. It's such an interesting way of communicating with you. You may not can imagine that I am here and a person behind and creating this podcast, but often you're only hearing my voice. When I play piano, that I close my eyes and just closing one sense and kind of make it possible for me to tune into a sound of piano a little bit better. Maybe with a podcast, you're just hearing my voice and just be able to focusing on the music itself. It's my wish of communicating with you with classical music. But I do exist here as a visual form, but I never really share with you the behind scenes. So that's the intention behind. Today I released a new episode about Schumann Arabesque Opus 18. If you never really checked my podcast out, please do so. It's really intimate and fascinating way of building a friendship or become a bridge to classical music as well. If you are already listening, thank you very much. And I hope to meet you in my podcast. And this is how I create my podcast. Thank you for watching. Hope to meet you then. Bye. 안녕.